Good afternoon. It's Chris Adam with Youth Pledge for Employers here, and I'm delighted to be joined by George Armstrong, a sheet metal worker from Cambridge Rapid. Hello, George.
Hello, mate.
Hello. Thanks for giving up your time this afternoon to talk to me. So I guess my sort of first question has to be, can you tell me a bit about Cambridge Rapid and what you do?
So we're a sheet metal manufacturing company. We range lots of different products. We've been going for quite a long time now, the company, but it's getting bigger and bigger each year. It's it's a great place to work, and I love it.
Oh, fantastic! No, that's always a good first thing to hear. In response to the first question is that I'm doing my job. I love it. That's what we want to hear. Again, speaking to someone who it's one of those things where I know the role of sheet metal worker exists, but I'd be lying if I said exactly if I knew what you do, what products the sheet metal is used for, and those kind of things. So if you literally were to tell me like sort of what your day is like on a sort of 9 till 5, or please tell me the correct hours, whatever they are, basis, and the kind of things you do, what's involved.
Okay, so we do lots of different things here. We do folding materials, lasering, punching, welding, spot welding, all machining as well. So we're lower class engineers, but it's lots varies every day. There's something new going on here. You're never doing the same thing. There's a lot of variety, which helps a lot of people get through the days, because no one wants to be at work all the time, but it's doing all this different stuff. It's great.
Oh, that's fantastic, and I wouldn't have thought there was actually that much variety in it until you tell me. As I say, when now you're saying, you're folding things using lasers, all sorts. As I say, stuff that I didn't know existed there. I mean, that's brilliant. And so within the organisation, what kind of different roles are there, if you see what I mean? So are there teams to back up you as sheet metal workers? What other roles are there?
Mostly we have our welder, our main welder.
Mm-hmm.
He's sort of the only guy that welds that. Well, there are other people trained. We stick with him. He's good at his job. We're a few apprentices here. So it's myself, and 2 other colleagues who are apprentices here. And then we have our dispatch department that they do all the inspection. They do all. Make sure all the orders are going out, and then we've got all the people up in the offices doing all the behind the scenes work, make sure orders come in, making sure everything's make sure we're making money.
It's always a bonus. You need to have those people in every organisation, don't you?
Exactly.
I mean, you talk about yourself and your colleagues as apprentices. What kind of so you're doing hard physical work during the day. So it's clear that's the sort of trait you need. But you seem to be a nice sort of happy chappy and stuff. What kind of personality traits do you find that you guys need when you're doing your work to sort of help you get through the day?
You've definitely got to be able to work as a team. I mean, if you're an angry person who's doesn't like to be sociable, it's not gonna. Being in a small environment with lots of people, you sort of got to try your best to get along with everyone. So if you're being that sort of person who's grouchy, everyone has bad days, but if you're constantly a negative person, it just makes everyone else's time a lot harder. So everyone here is lovely. We've got a great team here. Everyone gets along. It works out very well for everyone and makes the days a lot better.
Oh, that's great to hear. And in your time being an apprentice there, are there any traits in yourself and maybe things about your personality that have got better or you've discovered about yourself since coming into your role?
Yeah, definitely. Well, I've been here about 3 years now, so I started as just a worker. Only recently I started on the apprenticeship, and you notice definitely the confidence skyrockets. So soon when you realise that you can start doing things on your own. It's always nerve-wracking when you're being taught something and you feel like you have to ask loads of questions, you're worried about it. But as soon as you start getting into the groove of things, you start understanding, proper boost your confidence. And just when you get something right after a lot of trying, brilliant. And you get a lot of reward here for that sort of stuff, because when something looks good, it looks good, and people are going to be happy with it.
But that's fantastic. No, I completely agree, and it's really motivating that if you're going to get a nice positive response once you've done something right, or to the right standard, whatever, it is really nice to know that you're going to get a pat on the back at the end of it.
Yes, fantastic.
And so what's your, and if we look at your apprenticeship specifically, so once you complete that, what sort of kind of roles do you go on to, if you see what I mean, once you complete something like that?
Well, hopefully, we sort of have, I wouldn't say we have worded roles here. There's not like something we're aiming towards in this company. It's like, but more responsibility comes with it. We sort of add roles as we go along here, I guess you
Okay.
could say, which is great. So, I mean, but obviously you want to be trained on everything, and that's where when they see that you can do these things, it's like with the apprenticeship, we will be learning lots of different, all like the welding and stuff that we don't really get taught because there's not enough time in the day really. But through all that, eventually, hopefully, we'll be doing everything here, which is the best outcome.
No, that's absolutely fantastic. And you've spoken to me there about some of the perks of the job, the good days, and what happens then. As a project, we look to give people an idea of sort of what the challenges are and roles as well. So if you were to talk about like what are the tough days and the challenges in your job, what are they like?
Well, working with machines is a given that something's going to go wrong at some point.
Yeah.
You can never guarantee it's going to go. A bad day would be the laser not working. Laser's the start of production, so everything comes off the laser mostly, unless it's bar or something. And if that's down, that stops the majority of production. So that would be a bad day, definitely. And stuff goes wrong. Wrong materials are used. Sometimes you just wake up some days and you're just getting everything wrong. And you feel like you're in a stress and you can't do it. But it's all about, at the end of the day, you've got great people here. So they help you through it. And there's a lot of people to help you through these tough times.
No, that's great to hear. And sort of going back to the sort of traits you touched on, you sort of made it really clear that so you've got to have a good sense of teamwork to work in the job you're doing there. So let's imagine like if you had maybe say two young apprentices applying for a role within Cambridge Rapid, and they both had say the same experience or maybe even the same lack of experience.
Yeah.
What kind of traits is one of them going to have that's going to make you think actually you're the person we want to work here over the other than teamwork?
Yeah, well, they've got punctuation's a big thing for us here. You've got to be here. You've got to be ready to go. There's a lot of things here. If you're not here, then that's someone else's problem, and it becomes someone else's problem, and then the next person's, and it just builds up. Everyone's trying to fix this work that you haven't done. Also, you've got to have a good personality. I mean, to work, if you're hanging around people all day every day and you're just, like I said earlier, miserable, or you're constantly bringing a downer, it ruins everyone else's time as well as your own. Like, you don't want to be at work if you're being like that, do you? So no one else wants to be like that either.
No, agree. So yeah, you want to be around positive people, and especially on those days where things are maybe challenging, like you said, like if machinery's breaking down or something isn't being done to time or stuff. You want to be surrounded by people who are going to bring you up, not people who are going to put you down.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, no, brilliant. And you touched a little bit upon like sort of how you started. So you started as a worker with an organisation. Yep. So sort of what were you doing as a worker in comparison to what you're doing now?
When I first started off, I was on assembly. So in a way, it's like grown up Lego. So reading instructions, putting things together, which is a great way to start because it gets you all the different materials we use. It got you all using that, all the slight different tools we got to use. It was a great way to start off, and then slowly they build you up onto slightly more productive things, which is great because everyone's scared. You don't want to be trapped in at the deep end straight away and be panicking and worried. But they brought me into it very well. And they have done everyone else's work, dude. Like everyone gets a chance of doing something new eventually, which is another reason to work hard because you always want to be pushing yourself to go on to that next step of doing something more exciting or more challenging.
It's really good to know that incentive is there. As you say, it's nice to know that there's the potential to learn a new skill around the corner, face a new challenge, rather than, as I say, doing something that maybe, you do every single day, exactly, what you're going to be doing, how to do it. So no, that incentive of challenge always being there is really, really, really good. And like when you found yourself in that sort of worker role, did you have any, how do I put it, interests or traits beforehand? Like, did you instantly think when you were sort of younger, oh, I want to work with my hands, or I want to, work in a small team or a big team? What kind of things did you realize about yourself that actually made you think, you know what, this job's a good fit for me?
Yeah, well, when I applied for it, I had no idea what it was. I applied for it. I saw it on Indeed, and I applied for it. Knew nothing about engineering, nothing at all. But as soon as you come, it sort of clicked straight away that this is what I want to do. The people around it make it better, of course, but seeing all the work we do and how good it can be, and all the exciting, the variety of stuff, it just filled me with so much positivity, and I wanted to carry on. And it's not easy all the time, of course, but I mean, there's so much great stuff to be involved in here that it just makes you want to keep going.
No, it's brilliant, and again, that positivity is infectious, and that's absolutely brilliant. My final question, really, and as I say, this is quite an interesting one because obviously, you're quite young yourself, still doing your apprenticeship. I usually, sometimes I speak to people who've been in industry for absolutely years, so I ask them about like the advice I might give to them their younger selves, whereas you're still your younger self. I guess my question would be like, if you could go back to yourself, like before you were about to hit submit on that Indeed, application, and and you could give yourself a piece of advice, about maybe the things to come based on the experiences you've had now, what piece of advice would you go back and give to your slightly younger self?
Yeah, well, I would have said definitely got the apprenticeship done earlier. Before I'm 21 now, so I feel old in an aspect of things. A lot of younger people on the course, but I wouldn't really change anything. I think it's all gone really well the way it's done. Like the way I've got like built myself up here. I think it's gone fantastic. The same with a lot of people here. You see them start off really unconfident in a way, and then slowly everyone becomes a team, and it's great. So advice, I wouldn't know what else to say other than just do the way I've done it and start the apprenticeship maybe earlier, because I'll still be going for another 2 years now.